Hi, I'm Leonardo, and this is the Fictional American channel. Today we're going to talk about the shocking truck attack in New Orleans, which left 14 dead and more than 30 injured on the iconic Bourbon Street. Surprising details, including surveillance footage of the suspect moments before the tragedy, raise important questions about safety and prevention. Leave your like to help this content reach more people and follow every detail of this video. Understanding these events is crucial if we are to reflect on the system's failings and seek solutions that truly protect lives. Let's unravel this story together. Shamsud-Din Jabbar, the perpetrator of the attack, was a veteran of the US Army, a state institution that often turns individuals into instruments of violence. Not only was he trained by the government to kill, but when he returned to civilian life, he found a system that alienated him and pushed him towards extremism. It is ironic that the state itself, which supposedly exists to protect us, indirectly participated in the creation of someone capable of committing such a heinous act. In addition, public security mechanisms failed to prevent the attack. The FBI and local police, who consume billions of taxpayers' dollars every year, failed to detect Jabbar's plans, despite his clear radicalization on social media. This illustrates the inefficiency of monopolistic security systems. In an anarcho-capitalist model, private companies would have a real incentive to protect their customers, since their survival in the market would depend on their effectiveness and reputation. It is interesting to reflect on the relationship between state monopoly and the context in which such attacks take place. The concentration of power and US interference in international conflicts possibly fuel the resentment that motivates actions like this. In a decentralized world, where human interactions were guided by the market and voluntary cooperation, the incentives for systematic violence and terrorism would be drastically reduced. Instead of blindly relying on the state, it's time to think about alternatives that truly value freedom, individual responsibility, and peace. The images released by the FBI reveal crucial details about the moments leading up to the tragic attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. In the footage, Shamsud-Din Jabbar is seen walking calmly through the streets near the site of the attack, wearing a long coat, dark shirt, and jeans. His apparent behavior gave no immediate indication of the violence to come. But what was striking was the fact that he was filmed positioning refrigerators in strategic locations. This equipment, according to the authorities, contained improvised explosive devices, which fortunately failed to work as planned. Analysis of these explosives shows that Jabbar's intention was to cause a tragedy of even greater proportions than the attack with a rented truck. The presence of the refrigerators in the recordings confirms the premeditation of the act and the attempt to maximize the number of victims. The technical failure of the devices, however, prevented the situation from reaching even more devastating levels, allowing emergency efforts to be focused on the victims of the attack and on neutralizing the attacker. Another key piece in the investigation were the videos posted by Jabbar on his Facebook account shortly before the attack. In these videos, he not only expressed support for the Islamic State terrorist group, but also made clear his goal of committing imminent violence. The statements reinforce that his radicalization was a central motivation for the acts, raising questions about digital surveillance mechanisms and the ability of authorities to identify and contain threats before they materialize. This event underscores the need for a broader discussion about public safety, privacy, and the prevention of terrorist attacks. It exposes flaws in preventive monitoring and challenges the idea that individual actions motivated by extremist ideologies can be easily predicted or stopped. At the same time, it leaves a warning about the impact of radicalization and the role that digital platforms play in spreading violent ideologies. The authorities are investigating how Shamsud-Din Jabbar, previously a citizen with a stable career and a seemingly integrated background, became radicalized to the point of committing the attack in New Orleans. Raised as a Muslim in Texas and with a six-figure job, he abandoned his previous life to plunge into extremism. Among the crucial clues are properties linked to Jabbar, such as a rented house in New Orleans and his residence in Houston, which are being thoroughly examined. The discovery of an Islamic State flag on his vehicle reinforces the ideological link with the terrorist group. Authorities are seeking to understand the path that led to Jabbar's radicalization, including potential online or personal influences. This case highlights the challenges of terrorism investigations, especially when it comes to identifying and disrupting the radicalization process in previously unsuspecting individuals. Bourbon Street, a symbol of New Orleans' festive culture, has reopened its doors following the attack as the city tries to regain normalcy with events such as the Joan of Arc parade and the Sugar Bowl game. The FBI remains mobilized, investigating the case and providing assistance to the victims and their families. The authorities warn that the current scenario, marked by political polarization and changes in national command, could intensify the challenges in combating terrorism. The tragedy highlights the need for effective strategies to balance security and freedom in an increasingly complex context. Thank you for watching. Share this video with friends and family so that more people understand the seriousness of this attack and reflect on how we can seek real solutions for security. And don't forget to check out the next video that's already on the screen. See you next time!